oh my gosh, I already goofed up and I read stuff for almost 20 minutes and then realized my audio wasn't recording. Love that. So, starting again. Hi for the first time. Today we are starting a new diary, or 2 or 3 or 4. This is confusing. I am probably going to mess this up, so I need to explain. These are all kept by a girl named Dorothy Richmond between 1940 and 1943. There's some 45 and 49, and then a letter from 60 something, and so I have color coded the entries so I can try to follow along in order. I'm gonna try to do this. It's probably gonna get messed up at some point. Hopefully I just don't skip anything, but it is available for download, so there's that, but good luck reading along. Yeah, so it's a little confusing. Some of it is just notes on Italian class. We won't read that. Or addresses and stuff, and we won't read that. A lot of it is a little repetitive because she talks about what she wants to do when she grows up or after the war. She wants to like garden, have a cottage somewhere, buy a boat, travel around, and this is why I'm interested in finding her, because I want to know if she did any of these things. The letter she stuck in there from the 60s, she's just kind of lamenting that she's stuck in an office. So I don't know what happened between the war and then, or after then, and I really hope she, got to do what she wanted to do, but I don't know, and I'd love to find out. So I have some notes about her family, but all I've been able to find is like her birth record and her parents' marriage record. So I'm just going to read kind of the information I have right now, although it's in the diary too, but so in case anyone wants to help with this research. Her name is Dorothy May Richmond. She was born May 12th, 1927, which means she's like 13 when she starts this diary. In Burnley, Lancashire. I do have the address in here. I'll read her address where she was living during the war as well. It's in Blackpool. Her parents were Bertha Hindle and John R. Richmond, married in 1920. Her mom's birthday was March 11th. Her dad's birthday was May 2nd. She's got a grandma Edmondson, a grandma Hindle, an Aunt Emma, who's grandma Hindle's sister, who lives near Manchester. There's a Dora Royal staying with them, and her home is in Altrincham. I found her on Ancestry, and her family tree has Hindles in it, but I can't connect it to Bertha yet. She's got an Uncle Gilbert and Aunt Hilda, who seem to have a daughter named Doreen, and it's mentioned that Dora's niece's name is Doreen. So there's that. I should probably try to draw it out and see what makes sense. She's got an Uncle Henry and Aunt Jane in Burnley as well, and an Aunt Effie. So that's all I have for her family, if you want to make notes on that. So what I'm going to do here, because she skips around a lot, I am going to read my notes for 1940, read her 1940 entries, and then after that I will read for 1941 and 42, because she doesn't have entries for 1941, but she does for 1942. So I'll read that, and then those entries, and we'll keep going like that. I don't know how many episodes this is going to be. It might be fairly short. I mean, it's a small diary. Small diaries. We'll see. Maybe 3 episodes? I don't know. But yeah, we'll start with 1940 for you. I have decided what diary comes after this. I've been trying to keep up with my reading. I have a couple I've read through. I'm reading through another now, and of course Vivian's always, and I'm still transcribing Eliza's next diary. I have so many of hers. I need to do this. I need some help. I'm gonna try to reach out to some history magazines and see if they want to publish a story on what I'm doing at all, because I don't know, we've got 5 subscribers here. We can do better. This is an interesting project, right? Anyway, the next diary is going to be this one, and I'm not going to give you her name, not because I don't remember it right now, but because I want to keep it a surprise. I bought it because it was all written in the 3rd person and would reference someone called the Master. like, this is too weird. Like, what is this? Is it a story? Is it a diary? It turns out it is a diary. A very strange one. If I had to give you a tagline here, I would say, oh, and it takes place, when does it take place? 1902. I was gonna say, my little tagline for this is gonna be, is it love or is it stalking? You can be the judge. I figure I will read through it, and at the end I will give you her name and what I found on her. Is that intriguing? Yeah. I will say no more. Just that it's an interesting one. And yeah, gosh. Yeah, we'll read that one next. I have to start lining these up and planning because I have to scan them and do my notes and all sorts of stuff. So I have to work ahead. Anyway, now let's move on. I'm going to take a sip of tea and then we are going to read about what happened in 1940. Okay, so obviously it's a lot of war stuff. I tried not to overload it with the, war notes in all of these, but that's mostly what was happening, I guess. So, January 8th, Britain starts rationing for the first time during World War II. Bacon, butter, and sugar were the first foods to be rationed. January 12th, the Soviets bombed several cities in England. January 19th, the Three Stooges film You Nazi Spy, spelled Nazty, is released with the disclaimer, any resemblance between the characters in this picture and any persons living or dead is a miracle. February 7th, Pinocchio is released, marking Walt Disney's second feature-length film. February 29th, Hattie McDaniel becomes the first African-American woman to win an Oscar for her role in Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind also wins 7 more Academy Awards. March 18th, Benito Mussolini, Italian dictator, and Italy join Hitler in Germany's war against Britain and France. April 9th, Germany invades Denmark and Norway. After a 6-hour battle, Denmark surrenders. May 10th, a couple things happen. Nazi armies attack the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. Winston Churchill becomes the British Prime Minister, succeeding Neville Chamberlain. Germans bomb Chilham and Petham in Kent, England. I am sorry, I need to spend more time in England so I can get these right. These are the first German bombs to fall in World War II. May 13th, Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands flees to England. May 14th, the Nazis bomb Rotterdam, killing around 600 to 900 people. As a response, the Netherlands surrenders to Germany. May 15th, Richard and Maurice McDonald opened the first McDonald's restaurant in San Bernardino, California. Anyone been? May 17th, Germany occupies Brussels and begins the invasion of France. May 26th marks the first successful helicopter flight in the U.S. The successful helicopter model was the Vought Sikorsky US-300, which was designed by Igor Sikorsky. May 27th, the British and Allied forces begin Operation Dynamo, the evacuation of Dunkirk. So I have some notes on that, but let's, not use too much time, and we'll just say boats, including lifeboats, fishing boats, and other small vessels were called into service to aid in the Dunkirk evacuation. They were evacuating British, Belgian, and French troops from France. The most useful of the boats called were motor lifeboats, as they had good capacity and speed. The operation successfully evacuated 338,226 soldiers. That's a lot. May 28th, Belgium surrenders to Germany, which results in King Leopold III giving himself up. June 14th, Auschwitz concentration camp opens in Poland. Around 3 million Jews would die there. There were a lot more notes on the concentration camps throughout the years, but I did not include a lot of them when they open and when they kill people, but they're there. June 15th, France surrenders to Nazi Germany, meaning German troops could occupy Paris. July 18th, Franklin D. Roosevelt is nominated by Democratic Convention for a 3rd term. August 23rd, the Luftwaffe begin night bombing on London. Apologies for German words, too. August 25th, the first night of British bombing on Berlin. September 3rd, Hitler orders an invasion of Britain on September 21st. September 3rd, one of the major events in 1940 was the beginning of the Blitz. The German Luftwaffe bombed London for the first of 57 consecutive nights as the Nazis prepared to invade. That's my notes on that. It was a German bombing campaign against Great Britain in 1940 and 41. The Blitz is the German word for lightning, and the term was first used by the British press. Towards the end of the Battle of Britain in 1940, the Germans carried out mass air attacks against industrial targets, towns, and cities, mainly beginning with raids on London. After battling for daylight air superiority between the Royal Air Force and the Luftwaffe, the Germans failed, and therefore on the 6th of September 1940, a new German policy was introduced. For the next 56 days out of 57, London was bombed by the Luftwaffe. The most notable attack was a daylight attack on London on the 15th of September. More than 40,000 civilians were killed by the Luftwaffe bombs during the war, and almost half of these casualties were in London, where more than 1 million homes were destroyed or damaged. October 7th, the McCollum Memo suggests bringing the United States into the war by provoking Japan to attack the U.S. October 15th, The Great Dictator by Charlie Chaplin is released, which I still have not seen. I want to. November 5th, FDR is elected as the President of the U.S. in an unprecedented third term. November 10th, Walt Disney begins his job as an informer for the L.A. office of the FBI. He was to report back information on Hollywood subversives. I feel like I didn't say, did I say that word right? Subversives. November 13th, Fantasia is released by Walt Disney. And my last entry, December 29th, in one of the last 1940 events, over 10,000 bombs are dropped on London, including the first incendiary bombs in the worst German air raid. 10,000 bombs in one day. I can't even imagine. It's amazing it's still there. Although I wonder what London looked like before the war. Okay, so that was 1940. Now we can begin with her entries. I need to find the 1940 ones. Those are the dark pink. I think it's just in this one. So here we go with her 1940s entries. Farther away from the camera today. I don't know if I'm going to like maybe zoom in and fix that in post. I just, you see more of me today. I look so small. Anyway, might fix that. Or not. Okay, not reading in an accent. That is reserved for Vivian right now. So, her first entry, I think, is her horoscope for 1940 and 41. Copied out of Weekly Telegraph. You will be on the run most of the time, very enjoyably so. Life in the next 12 months assumes a fast and furious pace, and you will go with it. You will shed quite a lot of your native caution, be more ready for unconventional adventures. This is all to the good, because the less bound you are by that groove complex, the more fun and profit in your life. Changes are evident and new contexts probable. Profit from both. Love matters are intense and unusual, though there are plenty of weddings. Wonder if that ended up being true. Now she writes, Me when I grow up. July 6, 1940. When I grow up, I want to be tall, dark, have a good figure, and even if I am not pretty, I will make the best of myself. I want to be well-dressed, but not conspicuous, to be charming, sophisticated, and traveled, and a good sense of humor, to dance well, sing well, speak well, and at least 2 foreign languages, and most of all, travel a lot. And I want to be cultured and praised and wear my clothes well, walk well. In fact, I want to be a real lady. Well, me too, Dorothy. Speaking of clothes, I made this. I smocked it myself. See that smocking down there? I need to smock other things. It looks awesome. Oh, I didn't put the zipper in or do the hems, though. I took that to the seamstresses in LA a couple years ago because I suck at that. I need sewing lessons. She did a really good job on the zipper. I was admiring that this morning. Okay, my ambitions. May 7th, 1940. I would like to be a singer, like Deanna Durbin. Wait, I did have this. Deanna Durbin. Yeah. Her real name was Edna Mae Durbin. Oh, she died in 2013. She was a Canadian-born actress and singer who moved to the U.S. with her family when she was little. Cool. She made her first film appearance with Judy Garland in 1936. And, played in some other films. And her work was credited with saving the Universal Studios from bankruptcy. What else? She tried to move into non-musical roles, but they weren't successful. Many notes. Sorry, I tried to look everyone up. Like Deanna Durbin of Radio Stage, and though I doubt if they will have me, films. I only hope and pray that my voice is good enough. This won't come by just thinking about it. I will have to work hard and give up all the things of ordinary girls, and all my thoughts and deeds will be for one ideal, my voice. The first step will be to persuade Daddy and Mummy to let me have music lessons. I'm going to show how much better I get on them. Cousins Joan... I'm going to show how much better I get on than cousins Joan and Doreen. Daddy and Mummy are not rich enough for me to just think of music. I will have to work at other things. I'm quite prepared to do that, but I will try to spend my spare time and money working at music and my voice. The second step is to have singing lessons. But it is not much use me learning to sing unless I know and understand music. After that, well, I shall decide after. All this depends on one thing, my voice. If I can sing, I will go on fairly well. I will ask Daddy sometime whether he thinks it is good enough. If it isn't, it's not much good me going on with it, but I do hope and pray that it is, and I vow that I will never get married while I am on my way, or at the top, unless it will benefit my voice. But I must sing. Oh yeah, I had that too. I'm like, I'm not getting married till I succeed at acting. So I'm still not married. My idea of the perfect room, sitting room in parentheses. I used to do this too. I don't have the notes anywhere, but I remember I started a journal, like just kind of writing about my future place. I wish I did have that. I wish I would have finished it. May 13th, 1940. The perfect room should be large, light, and airy. And yet cozy and comfortable, and preferably of a southern aspect. The wall would be unpapered and cream washed. The woodwork would be brown. I agree. The floor should be stained and polished brown with fur rugs. The window should be large and should have brown, cream, and red velvet curtains. Parentheses, in summer, thick cotton or chintz. There should be a large fireplace, and there should be concealed lighting and a standard lamp and one or two table lamps with brown and orange shades. Failing the concealed lighting, an ordinary light with large orange and brown shade. The furniture should be old and good and not overcrowded. There should be a grand piano, a desk, a chest of drawers, a bookcase, small table, and an easy chair, and decorated with brass bowls, etc., full of flowers. I'm going to see if Midjourney can recreate a picture of this for me. If I can do it, it'll be over here. If it turns out wonky, it'll still be over there. Okay, my idea of the perfect bedroom, May 13th, 1940. The ideal room should be, as I mentioned before, large, light, and airy, and sunny. The walls should be whitewashed, and the paint should also be white. The curtains should be white muslin, sprigged with lavender. The carpet should be pale green. The bed should be white with hangings matching the curtains. Also a dressing table with a long frill like the curtains. It should be painted white. There should be a wardrobe and small bookcase, and a long mirror, all painted white. The lighting should have lavender and green shades. The ornaments should be lavender, green, and white, and lots of flowers. I realize, see, I have to remember how I'm doing this. Let me see if I missed anything in there, because I read that page, but how was the next page? Oh, she crossed that out. A thrilling novel plot. And there's me when I grow up. This might also be, it's not dated. Wait, is that just, I have no idea. Well, I'll read this because I think she wrote this as well in the 1940s. See, I told you this is confusing. She has a note on old oak, how to recognize a genuine antique. A wooden pin used in early oak in place of nails. Pins not perfectly round in very old pieces are square. They also stick out a bit. No screws were used during the drawers. No screws were used. The drawers on grooves let in to the sides. Drawers are usually made of solid wood, sometimes discolored with age, and invariably heavy to lift. Drawers usually have a dustboard between each drawer. A good old piece will never show signs of poor workmanship and have nothing shoddy about the inside. The grooves on which the drawers ran are worn with use. You may find on examining it that a wedge of wood has been added to strengthen the worn part. You may also find that the drawer is nailed together and not dovetailed, and that the nails are handmade and irregular in shape. She's an interesting girl. Look closely at the locks on drawers and other pieces. Does the rust on them seem centuries old or recent? Often you will find that the place where the lock has been filled up at a later date for various reasons. A faker is unlikely to do this. Even the smallest piece is solid. Reject anything that is of poor workmanship, such as doors on a cupboard that do not hang properly. Look at the front edge of the front legs of an old chair. These may be worn. The seat should show the nail holes of previous covers. If you are doubtful about an old piece, run the fingers along its edges. If these are sharp, that is a mark against it. But if they are rounded, it would seem to indicate at least a certain amount of wear and tear. I wonder if she was like copying this out of a book. Okay, so then it skips to 1944, so we're good there. So my ambitions, yes, about singing. Okay, yeah, sorry. At least it doesn't really matter. It's just notes. Here are some wine recipes. I don't feel like reading a wine recipe. There's a wine recipe on page 64 of this Momo book. And then the next page, there's cowslip wine, a recipe for cowslip wine on page 66. And then nettle beer on 67. I should try making that. You boil the young nettles, strain it, and add some liquor and ground ginger, a cream of tartar, juice of a lemon, sugar, boil it, yeast, dried yeast, ferment overnight. Interesting. Oh dear. So it says continued from page 42. See, she skips around. At least she labels her pages, but 42. That's 1944. Okay, so never mind. Don't read that. So we did the perfect bedroom. May 30th, 1940, my hobbies. I'm going to try to keep a scrapbook of Deanna Durkin, wait, is her name? Durbin, and Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy. So those two. Nelson Eddy was an American actor. He appeared in musical films and opera and radio, stage, nightclubs. He's remembered for 8 films in which he co-starred with soprano Jeanette MacDonald. He was one of the first crossover stars, a superstar appealing both to shrieking Bobby Soxers and opera purists. And in his heyday, he was the highest paid singer in the world. He had a 40-year career. He's got his footprints at Grauman's Chinese Theater, earned 3 gold records. He was invited to sing at the 3rd inauguration of U.S. President FDR. He introduced millions of young Americans to classical music and inspired many of them to pursue a musical career. I'm very curious. I love learning about these people. Jeanette MacDonald did musical films. So she did some with Maurice Chevalier. Things with Nelson Eddy. She starred in 29 feature films in the 30s and 40s. Lucky girl. 4 were nominated for Best Picture Oscars. She recorded extensively and also earned 3 gold records. She appeared in opera, concerts, radio, and television. She's one of the most influential sopranos of the 20th century. Very well. I'm gonna have to listen to them. I am also going to save up for a portable gramophone, but they cost about, oh geez, that's the, okay, I'm gonna mess this up a lot. The currency, because it was different back then. I asked a friend who gave me notes. Where is it? Oh geez. No, where are my notes on the, no. Okay. So let me just read this so you know how confusing this is for me. Before 1971 and decimalization, the money system was different. £1 had 240 old pence rather than the current 100. There were 6-pence coins, shillings, crowns, half-crowns, etc. An old pound was made up of 20 shillings, each worth 12 old pence, the equivalent of 5 pence after decimalization. So some small items were priced in shillings and pence. So this, like 7/6, was probably 7 shillings and 6 pence, or 146 pence in total. It's like saying 7 nickels and 6 cents instead of 41 cents. Freaking confusing. But I didn't ask about this. This £3, probably 10 shillings. There's like, sorry, this is confusing to me. I don't know how they did this. Okay, so the gramophone cost at least £3, something crazy, at least. When I have bought one, I am going to make a hobby of collecting gramophone records of Deanna Durbin, Jeanette MacDonald, Gracie Fields. I think I looked up Gracie. Oh, no, I did. Gracie Fields. English actress, singer, comedian, one of the top 10 film stars in Britain during the 30s, and considered the highest paid film star in the world in 1937. She was known affectionately as Our Gracie and the Lancashire Lass, for never losing her strong native Lancashire accent. Nice. So, Nelson Eddy and all the good singers. I am going also to collect music of the tunes at the front of the book. Okay, I see her address there. By the way, her address, which she repeated like 3 times here, is 26 Roseberry Avenue, South Shore, Blackpool. So that's where I'm going to check into. Let's see. My ambitions. Again, this is going to get repetitive. I'm going to keep wondering if I've already read something or not. May 30th, 1940. First and foremost, I would like to be a singer on the... See, again, like I just doubted myself there because it sounds so similar. I don't want to actually read the same thing over again. I would like to be a singer on the stage and radio. I would like to be on the screen, but I am not pretty enough. My nose is not straight, and the enamel is coming off a bit of my front teeth. I know I will have to work hard, but I am sure it will be worth it. It all depends on my voice. If it is not good enough, I would like to be a writer. Not particularly journalism, but novels. Not sloppy novels, but exciting ones with excitement, drama, pathos, and love. Not just a light one that people who read it will forget about it straight away, but one that will make them think of a long time after. Third on the list is an actress. I feel sure I could manage this, as I'm quite good at that sort of thing. It will be hard work getting on the stage, but the trouble with this is that I am rather self-conscious. But I will have to get over this, what sort of a career I go in for. Whatever I go in for, I want to travel all over the world. These are some of the things I would have to learn, whatever I go in for. Languages: French, Italian. Beauty, culture, deportment, dancing, singing. Whew, uh-oh, I didn't make a mark there, so that's like 1944. Oh no, what color is that? I don't have anything to mark it with. That's the light blue. I don't have a bookmark, no. Okay, well, I'll just put that one in there for now, just make it stick up, and I'll remember that. Okay, so next, 1940. Writing, June 25th, 1940. I would like to write books, if not for a career, for a hobby. I'm going to join the public library and read all the best books. Then I will try to write short stories, and then I will try something bigger. I hope I will succeed. I want to write good books, not the sentimental slush you get in most libraries. I will also try my hand at exciting books as well. Post-war plans. These are my post-war plans. Time alone will show how they work out. I hope they do. During the war, I will save all the money I can, and the first spring after the war is over, I will gather all my money together and set out. I will go on a walking tour, either the Lake District or the Welsh border and coasts, and if my money lasts, continued on page 98. I don't understand why she does this, why she's skipping around like this. Making my way down to Cornwall and the, I don't know how it's pronounced actually, Scilly Islands. I did make a note somewhere. See, this gets so confusing. Oh my gosh, I don't know where this note is. I'm sorry. This is very hard to follow. I should like to go along the southern coasts to London, but you can't have everything. I shall not set off with a detailed plan, just a general idea, and I shall go as far as my money lasts and take what comes. I shall stay at youth hostels where I can. I cannot really go until after the war because now the country is full of army camps and aerodromes. Okay, it's a location from which aircraft flight operations take place, regardless of whether they involve air cargo and passengers or neither, and regardless of whether it is for public or private use. Because I don't know that word. And soldiers. So it will be best to leave it until after the war. I will be older then too. The money is really the trouble. Yeah, always is. I have about £10 worth in savings bank and about £14, 10 shillings, I think, at home. And Mummy has borrowed £10 out of the money in the bank. So altogether, I have about £35. But how long will that last me? If I reckon about a year and a half, I may have saved at the most £15 more, making in all £50, which seems quite a lot, but it does not go very far. Yep, that's always a problem. But like, I don't know. I relate to her because I grew up like I wanted to write, and then I was in the chorus, the choir. I loved to sing. I didn't think about doing that professionally or anything. And then I wanted to act. We're all over the place. No, we're not the same sign. What sign is she? May 12th. Not an Aquarius, but so I think that ends it for the 1940, and then we'll move on to 1942. But I need a second to see how many of those entries there are, and if we want to continue that today or for the next session. Okay, we're going to stop there because I also need to read the events of 1941 and 42. And yeah, I think it just makes sense. We're going to stop here for today and continue on next time with 1942 and 43, because there aren't that many entries for 1942. It doesn't look like. Again, this is very confusing. Oh, my light went out. Well, okay, we're in the dark. I gotta change that. here. Don't forget, if you want to follow along with Dorothy and I, this is how it works. I put the first reading up on YouTube for free for everyone, and then the rest of them go over to my Buy Me a Coffee account. The link is down below in the description. Right now it's $5 a month. When I get more subscribers, I do want to make it lower. But it's a lot of work to do all this. So that money just kind of helps me to buy the diaries. The goal is to kind of, when I do make contact with the family of the writers of any of the diaries, that I can use what I earn through Buy Me a Coffee to cover what I paid for the diaries, and tell them that I can like give the diaries to them without payment, unless they want to give me something. But so, you know, haven't made a lot with the Buy Me a Coffee, but it's been enough to cover several diaries so far. So that's wonderful, because we want to get them back to their families if we can find them and if they want them. We've had 3 success stories so far, so I have a lot more diaries to find their homes. I didn't think that sentence through. Anyway, so to follow along with me further with Dorothy or any of the other diary readings I've done, head over to Buy Me a Coffee, where you'll support this horrible addiction to buying old diaries on eBay. I've been really good lately. Like after buying Vivian's, which cost a lot, I slowed down. I had to slow down. But yeah, I keep an eye out for really good ones. I got some from an Amish lady soon. I haven't got them in my hands yet, so I haven't read them, but that should be interesting as well. Maybe a look inside several decades of her life. I don't think it's like near as descriptive as Vivian or anything, but I'm very curious. Anyway, I'm in the dark now, so gotta fix that. Gotta change my dress, and hopefully I'll see you over on Buy Me a Coffee to continue on with Dorothy. Thank you. Bye.